What's up everybody, welcome back to the channel, and in today's video I've got my last rope comp of the season before regionals, and it's at my home gym, so let's get right on into it. Alright, so starting off on this climb right here, this one was labeled as the second hardest one, although I think it was probably more of the third hardest one. It started off in this pretty easy pink section with all these pretty big holds, some nice big pinches and some jugs. There was a few less good holds, but it was all pretty easy down here at the bottom. Then you get into this white section here, it starts to get a little bit more physical. Not too much more physical just because all the holds are still really good, but there is some more technical footwork and stuff like that. This part right here was kind of confusing because it wasn't obvious where to clip from, so I had to climb back down and then clip from this undercling. And then right after this move here, you get a nice rest on this big jug. The thing I probably liked most about this climb was how it kind of zigzagged around the wall. It was pretty fun. And then right here, getting closer to the lip, there's some more physical moves on these big flat holds and cheetah holds. This part was pretty fun, just because it's a bunch of big moves. Then you get into this red section where it starts to get more technical, and then as you come over the lip it turns into a decently hard slab. Also found there's this really good rest right here where you can press off this big cheetah hold. And then there's also a better rest right here, which I probably should have rested a lot longer for, because I definitely could have used more energy after this next part, because it was kind of this weird cross move, which I didn't do, which is definitely a thing that I need to improve on in my lead climbing, which is my decision making at confusing parts on lead climbs. Because as you can see, you're supposed to go right hand here, but I went left, and normally I would be able to just piano match it, but I should have rested longer. My fingers are sweaty, so I fell on it, but got back on it, second attempt. And as you can see, once I got here, I rested a lot longer, got a little knee scum in that cheetah hold, rested some more. Then when I got to this part, I went right hand first, and then got my left foot over on the no-tex holds, and then it was pretty much done from there. Just had to get over to these pretty good volumes. There's pretty much no way you're going to fall off the volumes, they're all really good. But then you had to go into this undercling crimp, and then jump to a jug. And I almost slipped off the undercling crimp because my pinky popped, but got the climb done, so happy about that. Alright, onto this one. I'm pretty sure this one was the second hardest one, even though it wasn't labeled as it, but this thing was probably one of the most technical routes I've ever been on. It was crazy how it was just super technical the whole way up, especially since it was on the vert wall and on the arete, which made it even more technical. It just used a lot less holds and made you use the arete and use toe hooks and weird slabby beta the whole way up. The thing about this climb is since it was so technical and it was on the vert wall, it was like not pumpy at all. Like when I sent this route, I like wasn't pumped at all. It was just only technique. Like there's no strength or anything required. You just had to know how to use your feet and body positions. I would definitely say that the top half of this climb was a little bit less technical than the bottom half. The bottom half was like really technical. The top half was just like some bigger moves with a little bit of technique. And then at the top here, there's these like 2 crimps right next to the clip, and they were like really bad because they were the feet holds. And it was like the only thing you had to grab onto. But then, you know, you had the sideways jug for the finish hold, which is nice. And got the flash of this one, so that was good. Happy about that. Alright, and then here is the hardest one. This thing, it was a sick rope climb. I love comp style rope climbs, but this one was just, I loved all the cool holds on it and all the different movements. This bottom blue section was pretty technical, using a bunch of heel hooks and toe hooks and stuff like that. It was pretty fun. I love these blue flat holds. They're just some of my favorite slopers and favorite climbing holds. And then it moves into this black section where things start to get a little bit harder. It's a bit more physical, and there's a bunch of slopers. So it's really all about body positioning. And then right here was probably the cool part of the climb. You come out to this crimp with your left hand, and then you gotta do this dyno, which is, it felt pretty far, but if you did it, if you really committed, it felt fine. And you know, I committed and got it, and that was pretty fun. And then you come up to this last black sloper. There's a pretty good rest right here, and I wasn't really sure what to do. Yet another top of a climb where my decision making sucks. Probably should have tried to read it more from the ground, but I did kind of figure out the beta, but I didn't really know how to do it. And then this was my last attempt on it. If I topped this climb, I would have won, but I wasn't able to figure it out. I did have the high point on it, I'm pretty sure though. Got the dyno again. And then I finally figured out the beta here. There's a bump, and then come in with your left hand to the crimp, which it was kind of hard just because the right foot was so bad, and then coming in the other cling, I just missed it. I just missed the really good part, so no sun on that, but I did end up getting second place, so pretty happy about that. You know, qualified for regionals. I hope y'all enjoy. Please leave a like and subscribe.